Welcome everybody to the GR Rideshare podcast. We had a good time tonight. We talked with Ben and brought on Nick for the first time. So it was nice to hear him chiming in and those kind of things. So we talked about a variety of things. We talked about Ben's crazy story and of a passenger that he ended up taking to Fenville. We talked about helping Arthur out, a fellow driver, not a rideshare driver, but a taxi driver, with some things and just, general nonsense like we always like to talk about. So hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you at the end. So, welcome. We have Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Ben's been here since the beginning, because this is episode
No, not the beginning.
Wow.
I've been here since episode 4.
Episode 4.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And we have one of the veterans of GR Rideshare Adventure, Nick. Say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Nick has been a driver
For around 16 months now.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
When I was when I was testing audio by myself, I thought you'd been a driver longer than me.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I know he has a great rating. Let's hear your ratings. That's what we do when we have people on.
For Uber, I'm at 4.91, and then on Lyft, I'm at 4.94. And I've done right around 2,000 rides altogether between the two platforms.
You've actually probably driven more than I have, because I'm about 2,400 rides, but that's 2.5 years.
Yeah. So I figure probably around 20 hours a week, 25. Sometimes don't drive at all. It just all depends on what the schedule looks like.
Yeah, that's the one awesome thing about Uber and Lyft is you don't have a boss.
Make your own schedule.
I mean, I was talking to a buddy that did the Lyft promo, and he's working through it right now, and he does snow plowing in the winter, but then does lawn fertilization in the summer, and I'm like, dude, you need to get rid of that snow plowing. I'm like, you might make a little bit more doing that, but the hours, you're always on call. I've done it before. It's terrible. You can't go anywhere. I mean, if there's a threat of snow, forget about it.
Stuck, yeah.
So that's what I told him. I mean, it's the best.
Side gig.
It's the best side hustle. That's it. Yeah. Like everyone asks, what do you do for your real job? And then I always say, well, this is a good side hustle. And so, but we had a pretty interesting week. It was a crazy weekend.
It was a crazy weekend.
It was like not New Year's Eve, but Jesper made like New Year's Eve money.
I think part of the reason why it was so busy was because Grand Valley State University's first week back.
They're back. And, the first week of classes, you don't do much of anything at all.
Right.
So you get to the weekend and it's party time. So.
Well, I felt like that every time we drove past the Bob, people were getting thrown out.
Literally.
It's literally getting thrown out. And that's a good segue to Ben's story. Ben had a crazy story over the weekend. I'm going to let him tell it. But it pretty much ended your night, though, right? That was it. You didn't make it back for the bar. I don't remember the time frame.
I could have made it back by 2, but I was just absolutely done after this ride. It's like, I'm going home.
Well, give us the setup for that.
Well, I was driving, waiting for my next... No, wait. I was taking a passenger from Leonard down to what's the bar in Commerce?
Stella's or Pyramid Scheme?
Stella's. So I'm going from Leonard to Stella's, and I was at the intersection of Pearl and Monroe, and nobody's moving at all, and traffic is backing up. What the hell is going on? So suddenly a couple cop cars come flying behind me. And apparently there was a pedestrian that got hit in the road. So that was kind of crazy. Kind of rattled me a little bit.
Yeah, I heard some follow-up. I think Rob said something. He's actually firefighter for Walker, so he kind of is interested in that. But I guess it wasn't a fatality or anything.
Well, that's good.
He actually stopped traffic for a while.
I believe it was just a leg injury is what...
Okay.
But there was a crowd gathering in the road, and then the police come up. So I had passengers in the car, and they're all rattled by it.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. You don't really think about it. You see all these crazy videos online, and you're like, whatever, you just go on your day and go get some chips, you know what I mean? But when you see it in real life, it is rattling.
It was. So we finally made it to Stella's, and I dropped them off, gave them their little bun cakes, which was a good touch after the ride we just had.
Right.
So, yeah, finished that ride, immediately got a ping to the Bob. So I go to the Bob, and I broke the rule, guys. I was waiting in the traffic lane with
So
my
you-
headphones on.
So you're a rule breaker.
I know.
So you were going to pick somebody up, or
I was going to pick somebody up,
Oh,
so I
definitely
just
a rule
dropped
breaker.
off at Stella's.
that's right. Okay.
And then I was going to pick up there. It was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm breaking the rule, but I just want to make it easy for the passenger.
You
So
want that
That's the whole.
5-star rating?
You're the whole problem.
Yeah.
Trying to get that 5-star service and getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I positioned myself so that there were a couple cars behind me and a couple in front of me. So if the police did come,
Oh, that's
they would go.
yeah.
to
That's
the
kind
back
of like the whole
line.
thing where you're on the highway. You don't want to
Yeah.
be the first car or the last car.
Yep. So I'm sitting there waiting for the passengers, and it was a female's name. So I can only imagine it's probably some Grand Valley chicks needing to get back. Who knows? Just hoping for a long ride. Well, then they cancel. I was like, now what do I do? I'm sitting here parked illegally in between cars. I've got cars on my back, cars in front of me, and just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Then all of a sudden, I see a bouncer grab this guy from the stairs at the Bob, and he literally chucked him, like threw him off of the stairs down to the pavement below. So,
I have a question about
Yeah.
that. So I know how the Bob's set up. There's a railing in the front, and then the stairs going down. Did he go above that top railing, or did he go to the
stairs.
So from the top, but still
Yes.
the same length.
Yeah.
Just that. Okay.
And the guy ended up directly next to my car. I mean, he was on the curb. He traveled a good long way. Now this guy was, he was a twig. He was a tall twig. So there wasn't much to him. So he eventually came to, and I mean, he was drunk. Like, I don't think I've seen somebody more drunk than this guy. So he's coming to a little bit, and he's like, I'm going to go get him. I'm going to go fight that bouncer. I was like, dude,
No way,
don't
man.
do that. Bad idea.
You couldn't fight him if you were sober.
Bad idea. So by this time, my window was down just because I wanted to hear and listen to what was going on. So I get out of my car and I go approach this guy, and I'm like, I'm an Uber driver. Turn the app on your phone, request a ride. I'll get it. We can go. I'll get you home. I can get you to the hospital, wherever you need to go. Just request a ride. Let's get you where you need to go. So he's fumbling with his phone, and I had pulled over to the side of the road. Well, we left that scene because obviously it was a hot mess. So I went a couple blocks down, and we parked, and trying to figure out where this guy needs to go. Like, do you need to go to the hospital? You hit your head. Like, this could be bad.
Was he bleeding?
He wasn't bleeding, but he was...
Pretty remarkable. If he went that far.
He traveled a good long way. But, yeah, so by this point, he's in the front seat, in the passenger seat, trying to figure out where I'm going to take this guy.
Question: why did you put him in the front seat?
I felt a little bit more safe with him in the front seat. Because
Just
if he's going to come at me, I can at least...
that's true.
Fight him off a little
You'll
bit
see
more.
it much quicker
Yeah, exactly.
than someone from behind you. I figured. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, loaded him up, got him on the app, got him good to go, and I pressed the start trip button, and he put an address in Fenville. And I'm like, Fenville?
south of Holland.
South
Yes,
of
yeah.
Holland?
It's down
So
by
probably
South Haven,
what?
kind of.
45
40
minutes.
minutes?
You're
So-
like, oh damn it.
It's like, did you maybe... I'm like, clearly he's drunk. Maybe he put the wrong address in. Who knows? So I was like, so I see Fenville. Is that where we're going? He's like, yeah. Can you take me to Fenville? I'm like, I guess we're going to Fenville. I tried to convince him. I asked him, do you have friends in Grand Rapids that maybe I could drop you off there?
Right.
Because I'm thinking, we're getting close to surge time. I want to make some money, not just on this one trip. So I couldn't convince him to do anything different. So he's like, we got to go to Fenville, man. It's like, all right, let's do it. So as soon as we get on the highway, he passes out. Just passed out, drunk, sleeping. Like, his head is falling on my shoulder. It's kind of awkward. And we drove like that all the way to Zealand with him nodding off and falling on my shoulder and me pushing him off. Stopped for gas in Zealand. And,
still passed out the whole time.
Still passed out. Didn't wake up. Didn't even wake up when we're parked underneath the bright light at the gas pump. Like, this guy is just gone. So we're getting closer to Fenville, and I'm thinking, I don't know how this is going to go. Because he only gave me the address for this trailer park. I didn't know what trailer was his.
Right.
It's like just a trailer park in Fenville. And totally bizarre. So
it's a little nerve-wracking too.
It
like
is.
Especially, you don't know if he's got alcohol poisoning. You're trying to do the right thing, and you're like, all right, I just want to get this guy. At this point, you're like, I just need to get this guy home. I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything.
Exactly.
I want him out of my car, and we want to keep him safe too.
Yeah.
So
Did it ever occur to you to maybe drop him off at the hospital at that point when you saw him, passed out?
Yeah. I had the thought, and I asked him if he wanted to go to the hospital. I was honestly just trying to be respectful of his wishes, but
Right.
at the same time, when you're that drunk...
the problem is I've had a few people pass out on me too, and I don't know if I would... I don't know. I don't know if I would take him to the hospital. I mean...
Yeah, it was crazy. So we finally get to the trailer park, and I'm like talking very loudly to him, prompting him, "Sir, we are in your trailer park. You need to wake up." It's not working. So I was like, crap, I'm going to have to like tap him on the shoulder or something to get him to wake up. So I did that, and I'm driving really slow through the trailer park, grabbing his shoulder, trying to get him to wake up. And finally he sort of woke up, and I was like, "Hey, we're in your trailer park. Which trailer's yours?" Without even opening his eyes, he just goes, "That one. That's home. Right there." And I'm like, "Dude, which one? Your eyes are closed."
You are nicer than me, because if you would have said that one, this one, I would have stopped the car, I would have opened the door, I would be like, all right, get out.
Bye. So we circled that trailer park, I think close to 5 times, and then I was like, all right, dude, if you can't tell me where you live, I'm going to have to call the police. So I did. I called the police. The Allegan County Sheriff responded pretty quickly. They kept me on the line until the police officer could get there, and had a nice conversation with the passenger and the dispatcher. We were on speakerphone, and during that conversation, the passenger got very dysregulated, very upset.
Dysregulated?
Yes.
Is that a word?
That's a social work word.
Is it?
Oh yeah, my wife's in social work, so that's her word for people who throw temper tantrums.
Dysregulated.
They're dysregulated.
It's like the politically correct.
Yes, that's
for
exactly what it is. I mean, this guy was a mess. Like, he's screaming at me, and why the F are you calling the police, and blah blah blah, and on he goes, and so he says he's gonna leave. And the most hilarious part is I'm on the phone with the dispatcher, and I tell him where we are. I said, we're at the trailer park. And he looks over at me with wide eyes. He's like, we're at the trailer park?
Yeah, the one I've been telling you about.
Fenville? Why didn't you tell me we were there? And I'm like, dude, we drove through it 5 times, and you couldn't tell me where to go. So he's just stumbling and mad and just a mess. So he's like, I'm out of here. If the cops are coming, I'm out of here. So he attempted to get out of the car. But first he was like, dude, give me my phone. I need my phone back. Because he thought it was on his phone calling the police. It's like, no, sir, this is my phone. I'm not sure what you did with yours. So yeah, he finally found his phone. He opened the door, but he forgot one important detail. He forgot to take his seatbelt off.
Oh. Did he hang out the door?
He was literally hanging out the door. And just stumbling drunk and couldn't figure out why he couldn't get out of the car. And then he pulls himself back in. He's all frustrated and mad. And then he's like, oh, seatbelt. Whips it off. And I was like, "Sir, you can stay here." And he yells at me, "Stop calling me sir!" Gets out of the car, slams the door shut, and starts walking into the trailer park. And then 2 minutes later, the sheriff arrives on scene. And
Okay.
I told her, you could probably follow the footprints in the snow and you'll find the guy. So she took my statement. I asked her if it was okay if I went back to Grand Rapids, and she's like, "Yeah, you've done enough.
Yeah.
Go on." So I left. Not sure what happened to him. Of course, he left his wallet in my car, so I had to send that. I didn't have to, but I chose to be a nice guy and mail it back
you
to
did
him.
the right thing. I mean,
So-
or bring it to the police station,
Yeah.
one of the two.
And I also put a nice little letter in there explaining to him what happened that night.
Oh.
Just because the way he was handled by the bouncer.
You
was
wanted to
pretty
clue
bad.
him in onto some...
Yeah, it's like, you might want to check for surveillance tapes, because the way they handled the situation was not okay.
Yeah, and I had told you guys that night, too, that I had someone say that the same bouncer... Well, I don't know if it was... I assume it was the same bouncer, that they were pulling some guy out and his head was hitting the steps on the way down. Those are wood heavy steps.
Yeah.
I mean, even carpeted steps would hurt, but... So, I think I think Chris brought up maybe we should call the Bob. I never did, but just to say, what is going on? Like,
I messaged the Bob on Facebook.
did you?
I
Look
did.
at you going above and beyond. I didn't
That's
hear
what I
this.
We did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know that. What did they say?
Well, it was Sunday afternoon, so it's the next day. I was with my family at lunch after church, and we were waiting for our food, and my wife is like, maybe you should let the Bob know what happened, just because that's just really not okay.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the Bob's Facebook page, and it says they're very responsive to messages.
Oh.
So I just typed up a quick note, I'm an Uber driver. This is what I saw happen to one of my passengers.
Yeah.
Just thought you might want to know. And it's Sunday afternoon, mind you. I got a response back within 30 minutes. And they were like,
pretty good.
"Wow, thank you so much for letting us know. We're going to start looking into this right away." It's like, cool.
And you didn't do any follow up again, like say, hey, what is the outcome, or
No, I want to.
Don't you feel like a lot of big companies kind of do that though? They're just like, yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah.
Okay, are you gonna, or are you just gonna go back to
Exactly.
doing what you're doing? I'm not saying that Bob did or didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't want that going on.
Yeah. It was not handled very professionally.
I
So.
feel like the Bob, when you hear people talk about it, it's turned into like a young person's place, which
It
There-
definitely is.
Yeah.
but there's a lot of chill restaurants up there for like just chilling. I mean, the comedy clubs up there, but adults our age, when I talk to them, like, yeah, we would never go to the Bob, and I'm like, that's a shame because there's a lot of cool restaurants. I like
Yeah.
Barbarino's. They have a peanut butter porter that's delicious.
Oh, I heard of that one.
It's
I haven't
good,
tried it yet.
but
Is it like Reese's in a beer?
I wouldn't go that far. That's what's cool about you to do a craft beer right. If you put too much of that flavor in,
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
Yep.
So that's always just a hint
Okay.
of it. So
Interesting.
yeah, I haven't had it yet this year, but I need to get down there. But I don't. But then I'm like, I don't want to go hang out at the Bob. You know what I mean? Can I get this to go? Can I get this in a 6-pack? But and you have video of that, right?
I do.
So I think we're gonna upload that video at some point this weekend. Maybe just a special to go along with the podcast.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a little copy, like cops, because you're trying to record it and like maintain a safe distance and
Yep.
stuff like that. But I don't blame you for recording that. I mean,
Yeah.
you just never know.
I was thinking, if I'm gonna have to touch this guy to wake him up,
That's
I have to have this recorded.
I was going to bring that up because I had a girl once, probably 6 months in, over at Gippers, and I picked her
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Gippers, yeah.
That's a mess over there.
Well, no, this will even blow your mind. 7:00 on a Saturday night, I get called over,
Wow.
completely gone,
Oh, man.
and she proceeded to get in and said, "Go, drive." Now, me being new, what do you want? You want the address. There's no address in the app, and I'm like, and when they're super drunk, I don't just go. I try to get something out of them.
Yeah.
Like, no, I need an address. No, go. So we kind of argue back and forth. I'm like, I don't think this is going to work out. And she's like, I'm not leaving. I'm like, no, you're going to leave. And what do you do there? I mean, I'm definitely not going to put my hands on her. And I was this close to calling the cops because what are the cops going to do? They're going to take her and physically take her out, probably arrest her for disorderly conduct, which I didn't want. I just wanted to go. Like, and she eventually got out and slammed the door as hard as I could and hard as she could, and I went on with life. But that is a weird thing of, I probably would have done what you did, though, at least trying to wake him, because it's a guy, so it's at least it's, but I would never touch a girl. I mean, if she was passed out, I probably would just call the cops and say, what am I supposed to do here?
Seriously.
So, at least they had a good response time if something, I mean, that's pretty nice that they were that quick and kind of in the boonies out there.
We were completely out in the middle of nowhere. So.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah.
I bet he got arrested.
If they found him.
If he was that drunk, there's no way I mean, if she was, well, how long after he left was she there? So she was there within 2 minutes after he left?
2 minutes.
So then she talked to you for what, 5?
No, not even.
Okay.
I mean, it was really quick.
So he had maybe a 4 or 5 minute head start,
Yeah.
but if you were so drunk, you probably didn't make it.
You could have got that far.
Yeah.
So,
well.
Yeah.
I think you did the right thing. I don't know if I would have done it.
No, I definitely would not have done that.
Yeah.
Like when he told us on our Telegram app, you know, the story.
I was like freaking out.
I was like, no way, that didn't happen. And then I finally got to see the video, and I was like, wow, this actually did happen.
Yeah.
It was the most memorable ride yet.
Well, it's funny he didn't try anything. I mean, he was not very big. And
he was tall, but
he was tall,
as
and you're
skinny
big
as he was tall.
You're a big dude, and he obviously wasn't that drunk that he was willing to fight you.
Yeah.
Or he was just beyond life itself, and he's like, I don't even care anymore. Except that you called the cops. He did care about that.
He did care about that.
And you calling him sir.
Yes.
And he was probably like 24.
Yeah. I
If
think
that,
he is.
maybe less than that. So, well, that was a good story.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I haven't had one that bad.
No, not even close.
No.
I don't know. Something about just. It was one of those situations where it's like, clearly this guy did something to piss off the bouncer. But there's no reason for the bouncer to react the way that he did.
And I think in your heart, when you saw it happen, you're like, okay, this guy clearly is going to go. It's not going to end well. I mean, when you see somebody do something to somebody, regardless if he's employed or not, you're like, whoa. I mean, what is going on here?
Yeah. Have you ever seen that show, What Would You Do? Or whatever it is?
Yeah. With John Canudis?
That guy. Quinoa?
He's like Hawaiian, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah, I've seen that.
It almost felt like one of those things, because it's like, you never see, you hear stories of bouncers losing their temper.
Yeah.
But to actually see it, it's like, is this
pretty
really
rare
happening?
It's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But, wow. I'm glad you're okay. I mean, it didn't end poorly for you, so that's good.
Indeed. On that note.
What's that?
On that note.
On that note. Another thing that happened this week is we helped a fellow driver out. His name is Arthur. He was involved in a pretty bad accident. And how did we end up seeing that?
On the Grand Rapids online yard sale website, or group, I should say.
Okay, that's right.
He had posted that, and we had screenshotted, what he posted.
Yeah.
And then me and you kind of got together, and
well, you had said that they were being pretty terrible to him.
Yeah, Yeah, people are awful on there. When anyone asks for help, I mean, everyone's just terrible, swearing at them, not offering any help whatsoever.
Do you feel? I mean, this is just me giving my opinion, but do you feel like that was the right place to ask for it, though? Like that's a garage sale. I mean,
when I think of Grand Rapids, I think of everyone here is very nice and welcoming and helpful.
Yeah.
I do think it was sort of the right place. However, how he asked it, but I mean, he was all hopped up on drugs and in the hospital when he asked.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the post said, but I didn't feel like it was.
He said all he had was $50, and that was it. That's all he could afford at that time, and people were still being awful towards him.
Right. So we decided, I don't know, I was like, you know what, let's help him. Screw it. And Nick said, hey, I got a queen box spring and frame. I'm like, well, we just need to find a mattress.
Yep.
And we ended up finding one pretty cheap at Sleep Doctor.
Yep.
They're going out of business, so I don't know. It felt kind of good. It felt good to help somebody, and I kind of related to like Ben. You just felt like, well, I'm just gonna intervene, and you stepped right up too, and that was awesome. And then we had Rob.
Yeah, good
old
old
driver. He good old Rob. We've known him for 24 hours. He's
awesome.
We invite him in the
Stand-up
group.
guy.
We lambaste him with insults. Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a way to get it there, so we were like, do we rent a truck or whatever? But he helped out with his cargo van and took his tools out, and we got it there. So
that wasn't.
And we didn't know Rob at all.
No.
At all. No
I mean,
communication whatsoever.
Yeah, he's on the main Facebook page for Grand Rapids, and I've seen him chime in on some stuff, but
that wasn't the same driver that drove the work van with the glass in it, was it?
No,
Okay.
that was my ride. You remember that?
That wasn't Rob though.
No, it wasn't. He actually asked me about that while we were driving to drop that mattress off. He's like, "Are you the one? Are you the one?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." The Sprinter van. I mean, I don't know if it was a Sprinter van or it was something like that, but no, we delivered it last night and to his sister, and yeah, it was cool. It's good to help people, and
so he's a taxi driver.
Yeah, I think for Calder City.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's interesting. You had a lot more conversation with him. Do they own that car? I
think Calder City owns it. I don't think the drivers own them.
That would be crazy. Although one of the guys, Jeff, Jeff.
Yeah.
Drives, what is that, Dodge something. But he had said when he used to work for Metro that they would have to pay like $1,000. He drove a black car.
Yeah.
They'd have to pay like $1,000 a week. They paid rent for it.
Yeah, I don't even know how you make money doing that.
Yeah.
Well, the black cars start at like $45. Like their base fare just to pull out of the airport is $45.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you drive to Rockford, you're probably making $200.
Yeah.
If not more.
That's
I don't know. I'm just spitballing, but. I mean, Lyft had the same program. It was like $400 a week. You could rent a car for $400 a week, but
it's pretty steep.
That's really steep. I feel like they kind of prey on the people that don't have very good credit and can't get financing. Because why wouldn't you go buy a car and pay $300 a month?
Right.
But anyways, hopefully we'll hook up with Arthur. Supposed to get out on the 23rd.
I believe.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
He's actually at the same hospital Alex is at on the same floor, I think, actually.
Right.
So
a couple rooms down, I think.
Is it?
That's
I think
crazy.
so.
Oh man, that is weird. So a couple other things. Jesper wanted to talk about community events coming up. What are big rideshare days?
Yeah.
And one of them is Winter Beer Fest, and that is the 23rd and 24th of February.
Is that still at the ballpark?
I believe so.
Yeah.
No?
I'm not sure. I thought they switched it to Deltaplex or something. Or
Did they?
I'm not 100% sure on that, but
I can find out.
Yeah, let's Google that. That has been an amazing event the last 2 years.
So you've driven it the last 2 years?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
The first year I drove it by accident. I was out in Walker, and I got a ride from a hotel, and they were going to the beer fest. So I had not even heard of the beer fest before then. And this is when...
I hadn't either.
Yeah.
I didn't find it by accident, but someone told me about it. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
It's cold as hell. Who's going to stand outside?
So we pull into the ballpark, and there are just cars everywhere. It's like, what is this madness? And this is the first year that Uber was even operational in Grand Rapids.
It was a shit show
It was
that year.
a nightmare.
You couldn't. I
was
had cancellation
horrible.
after cancellation after cancellation
Yeah.
because no one could get, because they had to, we picked up where the box office was,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then last year they had a great
They had
system.
A whole...
I mean, they
last
did
year
a great
was-
job with that. I was impressed.
Yeah.
There wasn't much waiting, and but yeah, I made a killing. It is at Fifth Third.
is it?
Yeah, it's sold out.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
I like beer. I don't like the cold though. I would not
Yeah.
want to sit outside for 8 hours
Yeah.
and drink, or 5 hours to drink beer, and
Yep.
but that is probably as big for me, or has been, as New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I think so.
But unfortunately, I am going to be gone, and so is Jesper. So you'll have two
Well,
less.
it takes 2 XLs out.
Right?
I mean,
You can
I was
handle
just
that.
gonna say that. That's the key. You run only XL those weekends. I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the one.
I don't think I'll be getting too many selects from.
No. Well, you get them by accident.
Which I'll take gladly.
Oh yeah. Yeah, isn't it like? Is it $2.25 a mile?
Yeah, something like that. I know it's quite a bit.
Because the
higher
XL is $175. I thought it was like $2 or $2.25.
I think it's $2.25 was the last time.
That's crazy, but it should be good. I mean, it's all sold out.
Get ready to be rated very low.
Oh, yeah.
From multiple rides.
Yeah, that is one. I mean, we've talked about this before, and you've heard the podcast, but everyone worries about their ratings, but it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, mine went up.
I like it when a rider mentions your rating. You're like, yeah, that's right. I am a 4.9.
Well, it makes you. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, monetarily it doesn't mean anything, but it does make you feel
But
good.
I mean, it bothers me when someone gives me a 1 star and they're like, oh, the car was dirty, the directions were terrible.
Have you had that?
Last year for Winter Beer Fest when I had that $148 ride from Fifth Third Ballpark to Bridge Street.
We both laughed we're like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to say that was like a 5.7 times
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
out of the ballpark.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
It lasted all of about 10 minutes was the ride.
I know. I used to feel bad when people would get dinged with those, but I said, listen, we're there in minutes. You're door-to-door service. When you request it, we're there. It's not like you got to wait an hour for a taxi to come up.
Yeah.
Split
it between the riders and the vehicles.
I swear people don't know about. So when we were talking to Phil about his little breakdown where it said split, I think that's when people split the ride. But look how it was like probably one time someone split.
Yeah.
So what do they just throw cash to the guy? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's too hard.
Basically, the person who ordered the ride sends the split to the other driver's phones.
Yeah, you have to have the app.
You have to have the app
right
on your phone.
Okay.
But I mean, it's honestly simple, and just this past weekend I had a ride do it, and they were literally done within 1 minute.
You say it's simple, but I asked somebody to change their destination, because
They can't. I don't think.
Oh, they can't.
I think
Drivers
we have to
can't.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, how safe is that? If we're driving down the road, we're supposed to pull over and because I do worry about a rider saying that, because I used to just be like, all right, whatever, I'll just go where you want me to go. But I do worry about them saying, well, I didn't go this far. He must have just left the app on. This is where my PIN was. It's not happened yet, but
I mean, that's dash cam kind of comes in.
yeah,
Like-
that's interesting. Who was I talking to? I think my buddy Bill or whatever. Somebody I was talking about that, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I just gonna say I got dash cam footage. I mean, what are they gonna say?
Every time I've gone to Uber with
They're
a
like,
issue or
okay.
problem, I mention my dash cam. It's bam, it gets resolved.
Which is another good reason. I mean, I wouldn't, want people to lie that they have a dash cam,
No.
because if they do say, hey, I want to see the file, but that's another good reason to have that. I mean, hey, I got a video of this guy doing this. Okay.
It still doesn't take off their poor rating of you, but at least you're still going to get paid for the ride.
Exactly.
They will keep the rating
They'll
on
keep
there?
the rating on
They
there.
do.
Have you guys tried to fight to get it off?
Yes.
I have. Yeah, back when I first started and I got low ratings, I would. I remember a couple of times I wrote and I said, they only rated me low because of the surge. Can you please take that off or make it not a factor? Or another time, a guy was pissed at me because I wouldn't do a U-turn to pick him up, and he had to cross the street. So,
Lyft does let you. If you have a bad experience, in the comment section, all you got to say is, hey, this was a high surge ride. Please don't let this rating count against me. They'll wipe it.
that's
It
crazy.
won't count against you.
Huh.
Yeah.
Looking forward to driving for Lyft.
Yeah, you're all approved, right?
As of today.
Don't mean to jump topics, so.
No, my rating on Lyft right now is a 0.
It is?
It is.
Well, you better get
Can
out
only
there.
go up from there.
I know, right?
So do you have the same time frame as my friend, 50 days to get 125 rides?
But it started the day he signed up.
I know.
Yep.
So you're already into days.
I'm 40 days now.
Oh, 40 days left. I thought you had 10
days.
days left. I was like, why are you even here? Why are you driving?
Yeah. No.
So what's your plan for that? Are you going to just do Lyft exclusively till you get your rides, or?
I think before surge time, I think I'll just do Lyft and
That's a good
take
idea.
whatever ride I can get. And then once it starts surging or, close to midnight, put on Maestro and do both. So
Yeah, I told my buddy, I was like, listen, do not. I told him not even to sign up for Uber.
yeah,
I was like, because you're going to be tempted to go to Uber, and I mean, it's $4 every ride. You get an extra $4.
Adds up quick.
I mean, it adds up quick.
Yeah.
And so he has not signed up for Uber. He's just trying to plow through, and he takes anything. He's been working during the day. He says he has no downtime.
Yeah,
Wow.
I believe it.
And
If
he's
you hang
not
out
taking
downtown.
anything more than 15 minutes away.
Nice.
And he's 100% acceptance rate. He takes everything.
yeah.
I was like, you haven't got any super long rides? Because they're like, we'll be sitting at the airport. We'll get a ride in Allendale. I'm like, maybe that's why they're giving a $500 bonus for each to try to get more drivers.
Yeah, that was like last night when I got home and I got a ride for Caledonia all the way in Hudsonville, Jenison.
You did?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
You didn't take it.
No,
did you?
oh gosh, no, not Uber X. Select, I
He's
probably
not
would have thought
Phil.
about it, but
Yeah, right. Phil takes everything.
Well, no wonder he had a ball in 2017.
Oh my gosh, it's nuts.
Does it on your is there anywhere you can see your hours for the whole year? Does that ever break that down?
ooh.
I don't
Maybe
think
on
so.
the
I
app?
think you can check on the website. I think
Yeah.
it'll say how many hours you've
I wonder
driven,
if you have to
but
go to each month and like write down this hours I work, this hours I work.
I wouldn't take too long, though.
Why?
Well,
Well,
it's only 12 months.
true. I did look at my mileage for last year.
I don't even want to look at mine so far.
So I drove total between personal and Uber 39,500 miles last year.
Wow.
18.5 on Uber and then 22 something. That doesn't that seem like a lot?
It does.
It's
for,
a lot
I
of
mean-
miles.
We've been to Detroit. We went to Detroit a couple times. I mean, and then Megan's parents have a cabin up north, and that's 250 miles one way. But that seems like a lot of miles for personal. How did I drive more personal than I did for Uber?
I don't know. That's,
I mean,
See, I have to break mine down 3 ways. Because I've got work, I drive my car for my employment, and then I do Uber, and then personal.
So do you use an app or not?
Yes, I do, but I still have to go through and classify every ride. I haven't done
Which
that
app
yet.
do you use?
Mile IQ.
Okay. My friend Bill that I signed up, he tried it. He says he doesn't like it.
Hmm.
He says it glitches out on him.
Interesting.
I use Sherpa Share.
Okay.
So
You
you
using that?
I use just Stride. It's
Oh,
free. You don't
yeah.
have to pay anything for it. The
Yeah.
only downside is you do, when you start driving, you have to click start tracking my miles.
Okay.
And then when you're done, you have to click stop tracking my miles.
Huh.
well, that saves on your
But
battery.
it does pop up now when you are driving. It says, oh, are you driving for work right now?
Oh, so at
So-
least it's a reminder.
They didn't used to have the reminder, but now that that's up,
I kind of wish Sherpa Share would do that because, like, I'll go all week and drive for my life,
Yeah.
and every time I get done with a car ride, it says, "Do you want to categorize this?" Which is kind of annoying, but it's easy. Sherpa Share, you just swipe it,
Okay.
so you go personal work. Now you would have the issue with the to work, but you can change if this ride was for your other job. You can actually categorize it, swipe it that way, and then
Yeah.
change it back to Uber, and then so it is doable. But $60 a year, which is
Not
not terrible. It does have some other things on it, but I don't know if it's worth 60. But at least I don't have to remember to turn it on. Although that's nice that or Stride.
Stride, yep.
I told my buddy to try Stride. You know, the rideshare guy talks about that all the time. So, what else? You guys got? Did you have any stories over the weekend?
Just the girl who decided to. Well, I guess she was a rideshare veteran. I would say so.
Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that. Our video from Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
You know, drank a little too much. Seemed fine beginning a ride.
She was with another girlfriend, like a girl. Like
There's 5 altogether.
Oh, so it was a full ride.
Full ride, pretty
Because
much.
Jesper and Matt said the video was very quiet. He's like, I can't hear your video. He sent me a message. I was like, was it quiet? I never watched it.
I watched it. And I had no problems hearing it at all. So I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have to ask other people.
Yeah,
you know.
I guess I can watch it.
I mean, typically when there's a problem with that, someone will comment, you know, oh, the video is too quiet.
Right.
But we haven't heard anything.
That's true.
So I did pick them up at the lovely Tin Can. It's actually one of my favorite places to pick up. It's one of the easiest pickups in my opinion.
It's easiest, and I used to have trouble there with like really drunk people, but I haven't anymore.
I feel like that crowd went over to the Bob.
I agree.
It's true.
The tin
They
can has
switched.
become more chill. I mean, you don't get fallen over drunk.
I get the older people from the tin can
Yeah.
versus, the younger, just turned 21.
But when I started out, I did not want to go to the tin can.
Yeah,
Like
it
when
was
it was bar
crazy.
closed,
Oh.
it's
Yep.
like the tavern or the Bob. But so you picked her up from the tin can them.
Yep. And I should have known right when I pulled up, one of them was like dancing on the outside of Tin Can's building. So I should have kind of
Like dry humping it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like there's this little
That's
pole.
what I picture in my head when you said that.
There's
That
this
was a
little
great
pole
visual.
in front of the windows, and she was up there like dancing on this pole in front of
Okay.
the windows.
All right.
So
It's gonna be a fun ride.
probably should have been like, oh, I'm just going to drive away. But, it was end of night, one of my last rides. Didn't care. Whatever. Puke. $150 fee, sweet.
Not worth it.
In my opinion, end of night, why
It's
not?
no big deal. Well, you still gotta clean it up though.
So,
Rubber gloves.
rubber glove.
No
I mean, we
thanks.
all got kids, so we're all used to cleaning up puke anyway.
Yeah, my own
so.
kids puke, not somebody else's.
So I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. End of night. Anyways, we get in, couple minutes on the ride. I start hearing, I guess that you could say spit, and started smelling stuff. And I was
See,
like,
this is why I didn't watch it, because I'm already getting grossed
I was like,
out.
what is going on? I was like,
Stretching.
I hope she pukes. I was like, I smell it. She had to have puked. The whole ride, I'm just sitting here with a grin on my face, like, oh, I just, made bank off this ride.
Making me money.
And, her friend rolls down her window back there, because you can smell it. So,
Oh,
I rolled
that's
down the
so
front ones.
gross.
And, I keep hearing, like, this, I don't want to say gurgle sound, but, like, when someone throws up, they're like...
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But turns out she decided that she was
Dry
going to
heaving.
swallow it twice. Keep
How
in
did-
mind, my eyes
like
are
a
on the
cow
road,
or something.
not paying attention.
Did you say like a cow?
Yeah, swallowing their own vomit.
Do they do that?
Like, yeah, they have.
I
Like,
heard a
7
dog's like
different
eating their own.
stomachs.
Yeah, I
vomit,
didn't hear.
but-
They do?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That sounded real stupid. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, I don't feel as bad. They have 2 stomachs?
I think they have like 5 or something.
I think
grew
we
up near
have
a
to
dairy
Google
farm.
it. We'll be checking this later. So, anyways, are you done with the story?
No, we're continue.
You've heard the saying "chewing the cud," right?
I have heard that saying.
It's the cow that chews the cud and swallows it and spits it back up. Anyway, go
So,
on.
anyways,
Nick.
I finally hear her stop making these weird noises.
Yeah.
And
You're like, jackpot.
turns out that she was such a veteran, she puked inside her shirt. Who would think to do that?
Only someone that's been there.
Only
and
someone
done it
that's
and
paid
got
the cleaning
charged.
fee.
Yeah, the cleaning fee.
I was amazed. I was the whole ride, and after they got out, first thing I did, pulled up one street, got out of my vehicle, and looked. So I was like, she had to have gotten it somewhere. I know this.
Yeah.
Nothing. The smell went right away as soon as they left.
What a champ.
Nothing.
Yeah, you pulled back into the crab after.
Yeah, I even double and triple checked.
He
I
was
would
like,
have too.
I think somebody puked in my car. Nothing.
I don't know how she managed not to spill a drop.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
It's crazy. What else was in that video? That girl's telling jokes to me. Did you watch that?
Yes.
Those
Yes.
jokes were
They were kind of.
amazing.
They were kind of good. I mean,
I love a good dad joke.
I bet you they would have been a lot funnier though if you were drunk.
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it was funny. I just thought it was interesting because no one had. I mean, I've done 2,500 rides. No one has just spilled jokes. I mean, we got in and she was right in on it and talking about the Honda jokes.
My favorite part about that video was her talking about her friend giving her dad a lap dance.
Yes, and how or something about calling her out for being drunk all summer or
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah, how's my rating so low?
Yeah, because it was. She thought it was like a 4.8 and it was like a 4.77, which is not that
That's
big.
not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. I would say that's probably the average.
So do you think riders care about their rating at all, or?
Well, they probably care as much as we do. I mean, they probably don't know I think most riders don't even know that we rate them.
Because
Like,
I mean, I get some riders that are like, oh, what's my rating? I'm like, oh, you're a 5-star. Oh, awesome, sweet. Please
Yeah.
give me 5 stars again,
Yeah.
And then you got other people who have no idea and their rating's like 4.3, 4.4.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it probably is the same for us. Some people care, some people don't.
It is interesting to think about, what's that threshold to whereas a rider gets deactivated.
Yeah.
I swear there isn't one. We've seen riders. I mean, we've seen.
I mean, I had a
Have you seen three?
I had a
Yes.
3.37 I picked up before.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
At the airport, right?
Yep.
Oh man.
I won't take anything lower of 4 except at the airport, because a lot of times I don't know how much airport you do, if any.
Not a ton.
A lot of times with it, when they have those little ratings, they're from Chicago or New York, and everyone.
And
hates
what's weird
everyone.
is they tip. They always
Yeah.
tip.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, that's interesting. But I think they care just as much as we do. Some of them. I mean, it's gamifying things too. Hence the whole compliment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, oh, I know what we're going to talk about. The percentage on tips.
Yes.
Did you find an article about that?
I did not find an article on that yet.
Him and I were talking. You probably haven't heard this. So last weekend we looked at our tips and they were all an odd amount. Like I had $11.30
Or 13.
Really?
So I was on Twitter on our GR Rideshare page, and they I was talking to a guy. He's like, he brought it up. He's like, I got these weird tips over the weekend. Well, they must be at. I mean,
Yeah, I
they
saw a
must be
98-cent one on the national
they must be
group.
asking for a percentage instead of $1, $2, $3.
Yeah, I had one like that, and what he did is he rounded up to the next nearest dollar
You think?
on his cost. Because if you looked at what he paid, and then you add the tip that he added on.
See, ours wasn't.
Made it a round
ours
number.
was not even.
I mean,
there's a
round
percent
numbers.
then.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I
Maybe
wouldn't.
Uber's taking a percent out.
Oh gosh, don't get me started
Yeah,
on
my
that.
gosh. Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I mean, it's maybe it's not. I mean, I guess I have to take a ride. I don't know, but I kind of like that better than $1 or $2.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah.
I mean, when we were in Florida, which is so dumb, but this little deli at this, he's looking up cow stuff on his phone right
Oh,
now.
I got it.
Oh my
Found it.
gosh. Do you want to hear it?
You want me to talk about the cow?
Well, let's. Is there? You know when you Google something, it gives you like a little paragraph and talks about it. So how many stomachs do they have?
A cow has 4 stomachs.
Oh wow.
And undergoes a special digestive process to break down the tough and coarse food it eats. When the cow first eats, it chews the food just enough to swallow it. The unchewed food travels to the first 2 stomachs, where it is stored until later. When the cow is full from this eating process, she rests. Later, the cow coughs up bits of the unchewed food,
Wow.
called cud, and chews it completely this time before swallowing it again.
Learn something new.
Dude, I swear to you, I did not know that.
That's what I thought of when I saw your video.
Ah! I did not know that.
Anyway, now that random factoid's
No,
out,
I
Florida.
actually like it. Anyways, in Florida, tipping. Yeah, we went to this deli, and think of it like a deli, just like they have coffee and they can make sandwiches. I mean, I don't know if you drink foo coffee.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do sometimes, not all the time. It's expensive. Do you tip them?
No.
I don't either.
Nope.
So I go in there and they have 16. They start at 16%. I thought that was just odd that it started at 16, like not 10, 20, 30, like it went 16, 20, and then like 28%. I thought that was odd for one that they were asking for tips.
Yeah.
But then they specifically made sure you say, okay, when you put your card in, you're going to see a screen, you're going to have to do something on that before you sign it. Basically making sure that you're paying attention and make sure you tip, but...
So I guess good for their employees.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're working in a resort atmosphere, but I would never thought of tipping my Jimmy John sandwich maker. I mean, but yeah, tipping, that's a whole nother story. So, I mean, we can wrap it up. We've been at it for 48 minutes.
Wow.
I
that's not
know.
bad.
I don't really have a time frame, but yeah, we got Winter Beer Fest coming up at the end of the month. There's I put some events on here, just trying to be hip for the city. The Harlem Globetrotters are coming on January 22nd.
And the pajama party this weekend, the onesie.
See, I was looking, so I prepared an hour before we started, so I was looking at events, trying to find stuff that might draw more rideshare work, but the Harlem Globetrotters is not going to.
No.
So it's the onesie party?
Yes.
Like
Yep.
a bar crawl?
Yeah, it's a pub crawl. Yep.
I don't understand what those are. Like, I get it.
You go from one bar to the next bar.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you get there? Is there a big bus?
You walk, or
you walk?
take an Uber or Lyft, or
Okay.
you know.
And they have like special beer prices.
They have special drink sales and all that stuff. Like 40% off if you get this drink and you have the, onesie wristband on.
Oh.
And they have these light up wristbands that let you know when it's time to go to the next bar.
Oh, really?
No way.
That's awesome.
And they actually have people like directing the events that go from bar to bar with you.
Sober people.
So they're
Sober people. Yeah.
able to guide.
I didn't know that.
Huh.
I'm too old for this. So.
But you do see a lot of funny outfits for
Yeah.
that. I mean, I remember last year it was just crazy.
Huh, and that's this weekend?
That is this weekend on Saturday.
Oh, I'm not working.
It is sold out too.
Oh, they actually had a limit on tickets?
Well, they did, and then they introduced a new higher price ticket.
Oh.
Hey,
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
By the way, I just saw an Uberman notification pop up. What's all with this cryptocurrency? Like, I feel like he's turned his channel, like, it used to be a rideshare channel, and now all he talks about is him flipping cars and his cryptocurrency.
I feel like once he met with Uber, they kind of told him to be quiet.
Oh, because he did have that series.
That
I only
meeting.
watched 2 of those.
I can guarantee you he didn't meet with just that one guy.
No.
Or maybe Maestro. He teamed up with Maestro. Maybe
That's
they
true.
told him, hey, you can't
Cool
be
it.
talking bad about Uber or Lyft. Or
You know what? That's a really good point, because on Maestro's FAQ videos, he's the guy that talks.
Really?
He did the videos, yeah.
Huh.
I bet you're right. I
So
never
we probably
thought
had to
about
take
that.
more of a professional approach to
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, to me, I used to watch his videos, but this whole, it's my new business finance by my cryptocurrency sale.
So
flip
that's
cars.
all you see from him now. That's
Right.
literally it.
I won't watch the videos.
Yep.
I'm not in. I mean,
I almost want to unsubscribe to him.
I mean, but you bring up, that is a good point. I mean, I haven't really seen ever since he talked about his story.
Yeah.
He hasn't talked about really much rideshare at all. But I mean, how much you gonna talk? I mean, we've talked about that too. We've always got crazy stories, which is kind of fun. But I mean, although they always come out with new features and shit like that. But I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack, but I saw his post come up and I'm like, what's up with that? I don't get that cryptocurrency thing. I'm
not into it.
I'm not either. I give my money to my financial guy, and he just does mutual funds, and I'm happy with that. And I don't know. It sounds very risky, because didn't it just bottom out again? So
Basically,
It's like a roller coaster.
to my understanding is people who are rich will buy them and then wait till they get up high, sell off all their stock, make it plummet, and then buy it back low.
they make a profit on it,
And then
buy
make a
more
profit
back
on it,
low.
and then drive the prices up again, and then sell everything, watch it plummet, buy it again. So, buy low, sell high is basically all it seems like it is.
So it's not any. It's all digital currency. Just
You can't buy anything with it. That's the
Yeah.
issue.
There are some places online that you can, but like you can buy games, video games with it.
you can
Like
at
stupid
reputable
stuff
stores
like
like GameStop.
no, like online stores.
It'd be
My
comparable
son
to
was
like
talking about
Amazon.
it. Yeah.
It's like an Amazon type deal.
So when you go pay for with this Bitcoin, is the site secured? Does it say HTTPS? Because
Who
it
knows?
sounds shady.
Yeah, the S is for shady.
Yeah, right. I actually look for that, and actually Chrome. Where was I? Was I at work today? Typing something in. Oh yeah, I was. Work got me a credit card finally, and I typed in Capital One, but I spelled it just a little off, and it did go to a site, but it said, "Whoa, this is not secure." Like it put like a red thing on there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yep.
oh, I bet it's a.
That's why I love Chrome.
It's like a hack site, but they're letting you know, do not put any information in here, because it looked like a Capital One
Yeah.
site. But
Crazy.
yeah. So then back to the dates, we got Jeff Dunham on the 26th. He's the puppet guy. right?
Okay, yeah.
Didn't he win the first America's Got Talent? Isn't
Yep.
that why he
That's
got?
right.
I think Phil wanted to go see that. He asked me if I wanted to go. I said yes. So that was a long time ago. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry, Phil. And then Marilyn Manson on February
You said you had a
7th.
story about Marilyn Manson.
I don't have a story, but I just find it interesting that he was so big and now he's playing at 20 Monroe Live, which is nothing to shake a stick at. But I feel like
you would think like Van Andel.
Well, he used to play those bigger venues. At least maybe not by himself, but with a tour. But yeah, he recently he like broke his leg or something on stage.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I think that's about it. Comes to a screeching halt. You guys out? You got anything else? See what people are saying about our video. Thanks everybody for joining us on the podcast today. What some crazy stories. We appreciate it. A couple of things. If some of you watched the live video tonight, we talked about YouTube's changing their money format or ad format, how we make money on YouTube. Not that we've made a ton of money on YouTube, but it does help pay for some things like bandwidth and equipment and stuff. So take a look at that. You can find us on YouTube at GR Rideshare Adventures, Twitter GR Rideshare, and what did I say? YouTube and Facebook. I think it's GR Rideshare. So we appreciate everyone listening. If you could do me an awesome favor, if you go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating, that would be great. It helps us boost in the search. And I just really appreciate everyone that watches and subscribes. And look out for a video of Ben's craziness. He did record some of it in the car just to make sure everything was on the up and up. And we'll probably be releasing that with the podcast soon. So thanks for listening. Have a great night.